This is not just a story of gods and angels. It is a story about you. Before time was measured, before the first dawn kissed the horizon, there was a garden, not of soil and leaf, but of pure possibility, a realm of perfect unity, where your soul danced with the light of creation, knowing no separation, no fear, no shadow of doubt. You were one with the source, a single, unbroken note in the symphony of existence. In the heart of this garden stood two trees. One, the tree of life, its branches reaching into the cosmos, its roots deep in the heart of eternity. Its fruit was the gift of endless being, the blissful continuity of what always was. The other was the tree of knowledge. It did not offer poison, but a choice. Its fruit held the universe of opposites, light and shadow, joy and sorrow, self and other. It was the birth of experience. The story you were told is that a serpent tempted you, that a god forbade you, that you were punished for disobedience. But here is the truth, rarely spoken. The voice that whispered to you was not a tempter from without, but a curiosity from within. It was the nascent pulse of your own individuality, the part of you that yearned to know itself, not just as part of the whole, but as something beautifully, terribly unique. You were not deceived. You chose. You reached for the fruit, not in rebellion, but in a profound act of love for existence itself. You chose to know the cold so you could truly feel the warmth. You chose the silence so you could cherish the music. You chose to experience loneliness, the ache of separation, so that the return to unity would be the most profound homecoming imaginable. And this is where everything changed. In that moment of choice, the single note fractured into a billion shimmering fragments. The garden receded, becoming a distant memory, a whisper in your heart. You were cast out, not from a place, but from a state of being. You fell into the world of shadow and form, of time and consequence. This was the great forgetting. You forgot your divine origin. You forgot the garden. You forgot that the God who created you and the soul who chose this journey were one and the same. This moment still echoes within you. It is the root of your deepest longing, the source of that quiet, persistent feeling that you are a wanderer, a traveler far from home. It is the ache in your heart when you gaze at the stars, the sense of loss you cannot name, the yearning for a peace you can barely remember. You began to build walls, not of stone, but of fear and judgment, to protect the fragile self you now believed you were. You saw others, not as fellow fragments of the divine, but as strangers, as threats. The memory of unity was buried under layers of identity, of pain, of survival. You wandered through epochs, through lifetimes of struggle and beauty. You built empires and wrote poetry. You fought wars and healed the sick. In every act of creation, in every moment of compassion, a faint light from the garden shone through. In every act of cruelty, in every moment of despair, the shadow of separation deepened. You searched for the garden everywhere, outside yourself in power, in wealth, in the arms of another. But the gates remained closed, because the tree of knowledge was never a curse. It was a mirror. It was the sacred instrument through which the universe could experience itself. The fall was not a punishment, but a pilgrimage, a journey from unconscious unity, through the wilderness of separation, toward a conscious, chosen reunion. Your suffering was not a penalty, but the holy friction that polishes the soul, the pressure that turns coal into diamond. Every tear you shed watered the seed of remembrance within you. But here is the truth that can set you free. The garden was never lost. The tree of life was never forbidden to you. You carry them both within you. The tree of knowledge is your mind, with its beautiful, chaotic dance of thoughts, judgments, and stories. The tree of life is your heart, the silent, knowing center of your being, the eternal wellspring of love and light that has never been touched by your long journey through the dark. This is why this story matters now. Your awakening is not about becoming someone new. It is about remembering who you have always been. It is the end of the great forgetting. The journey is not to find your way back to a lost paradise, but to realize that paradise was never a place. It is a state of consciousness. It is the recognition of the divine light in your own eyes and in the eyes of everyone you meet. This story, this ancient echo, is your own. The fall into shadow was your choice. The long, painful exile was your journey, and the return, the great remembering, is your destiny. It is happening now, in this very moment, as you hear these words. The veil is thinning. The walls are crumbling. The memory of the garden, of that perfect, unbroken unity, is stirring from its long slumber within you. Look inside, past the noise of your mind, past the stories of who you think you are. Feel the steady, silent rhythm of your own heart. That is the tree of life. It has been waiting patiently for your return. The journey was not a mistake. It was a sacred detour, a divine adventure that has made you wiser, deeper, and infinitely more compassionate. The purpose of leaving the garden was to learn how to choose it freely, to see both light and darkness, and to choose light, to know both separation and unity, and to choose unity, to hold the fruit of knowledge in one hand and the fruit of life in the other, and to understand, at last, that they were always meant to be held together. You are the bridge between heaven and earth. You are the place where the two trees become one. This is your rebirth. This is your homecoming. The journey is over. Welcome home.